Yes, oh, good, not too bad. So there we go. So area and circumference of circles. So let me just turn the pages of the slides we've seen a number of times before. So just waiting for it to come through to my slide number 1, where we're just going to talk through the components of a circle. Here we go. So remember what we are, the various bits and pieces of a circle. The length to the center of the circle, that one in red, is called the radius. And the length from one side of the circle to the other via the center is called the diameter. And you've got to be confident moving between the radius and the diameter. The diameter is twice as long as the radius. So if you've got the radius and you need the diameter, you need to be confident you just double it, and vice versa. If you've got the diameter and you need the radius, you've got to be confident that you just halve it. Okay. Now the length all the way around the outside of the circle is called the circumference. They are all lengths. So we've then got the two formulae that we need to learn. So I'm just switching over to the next slide. It's just while we're waiting for it to come through. See if you can remember in your head what the formula for circumference is and what the formula for area is. So circumference equals pi times the diameter. Okay, so when you're trying to work out the circumference, you use the formula on the left. And the area equals pi r squared. And remember, pi is just a number. It's like 3.14, but you'll have a pi button on your calculator. That's in the bottom, right at the middle as the shift function. So if you look at the 5 buttons in the bottom of your calculator, it should be the second function. So you go shift and then press that times 10 to the x button. So you need a way to really try and remember these two formulae because they're not given. Okay, so I would suggest you use the acronym cottage pies delicious, apple pies RT. So that helps you remember cottage pies delicious, apple pies RT. Okay, and then if you're worried that you're going to muddle the two formula up when you're doing that little rhyme, hopefully you eat your cottage pie before you eat your apple pie. So it's the cottage pie comes first. Cottage pies delicious, apple pies RT. Okay. So we've got the two formulae. So I'm just going to really quickly model the two ones, the two basic things. So calculate the area and circumference of these two circles, stating your units, give your answers to 1 decimal place. So with the one on the left, we've been given the radius. Okay, that's the radius, the length to the center. So always start off by writing down the formula. So for circumference, that's going to be C equals pi times the diameter. Okay, then substitute in. Now, because the radius is 6, the diameter, remember the diameter is twice as long as the radius, the diameter is going to be 12. So this is going to be pi times 12. Pop that into your calculator. We get 37.69 ... So to 1 decimal place, that's going to be 37.7 meters. Now remember, circumference is the length all the way around the outside, so the units are just meters. Okay. Now the area, remember the area is the space inside the circle. So always start off by writing down the formula. Area equals pi r squared. And substitute in, well, we've been given the radius here. We know that the radius is 6. So remember r squared, be careful. Remember that means 6 times 6. It does not mean 6 times 2. So the area is going to be pi times 6 squared, or pi times 6 times 6. Pop that into your calculator. You get 113.097 ... So to 1 decimal place, that's going to be 113.1, but it's meters squared. Remember that area is the space inside. It's 2-dimensional. So it's going to be meters squared. Now, moving over to the circle on the right, on this occasion, we've been given the diameter. Okay. Now, when we're working out the circumference, that's pi times the diameter. Well, we've been given the diameter as 20, so that's just going to be pi times 20. Pop that into your calculator, round to one decimal place, so 62.8 centimetres. Now for the area, remember area is pi r squared. We need the radius. Well, that 20 is the diameter, so to get the radius, we're going to have to halve that. So the area is going to be pi times half of the 20, which is 10. So pi times 10 squared, or pi times 10 times 10, which gives us 314.159 dot dot dot, which is a 314.2 to one decimal place. So 314.2 centimetres squared. You can hardly see the point there, but there is a point between the 4 and the 2. That's 314.2. So what I propose to do, I'm going to start off by leaving that slide on the board for you to refer back to. As you get going, I'll obviously start sharing the screen with the questions that you're working on. Okay, so they've all been set up on Dr. Frost. They're called circles, area and circumference. I think they've come through already because it says due on my analysis. So if you could just try and work your way through those this lesson, please. Yeah, Poppy made a good start already. Well done. And so well done. So just there's plenty of questions there to keep you busy. If you get stuck, just let me know. Okay, so I'm just going to stop the recording. Once I've done that, you're free to unmute if you've got any queries. But let me just stop the recording first, please.